All right, welcome everyone to today's class. My name is Libby's and I'm going to be your guide for today's class. I'm super happy to be here today. It's been some time since I've seen some of your names on the screen, so super excited to be here. But we're going to go ahead and start off with today's quote. And today's class is going to center around winding down for the week, right? But also being able to show up for ourselves, and not only that, but seeing in which ways we probably don't show up for ourselves so that we can bring clarity in ways in which we can, right? So today's quote is going to go a little like this. Let me go ahead and repaste that. Thank you. Okay. The only person who can pull me down is myself, and I'm not going to let myself pull me down anymore. And that's by C. Joybell C. And I absolutely love this quote because if you've ever been into one of my previous classes, you know that I really like to center my classes usually around what's going on also in my life so that we can all relate, right? And I feel like maybe it being the middle of the year, we're heading into this space where everything is starting to feel familiar. We're re-diving into our habits and everything. And maybe we've lost a bit of the spark, right? Maybe we're in our thoughts a little bit more often than not. So that's what we're going to dive in with today. So the first journal prompt for today, I would love for you to take your journals out if you haven't done so already. And I would love for you to reflect on your week so far. What thoughts or actions, if any, may have weighed you down this week, right? So for example, for myself, I put the thought that I always had to be doing my best. And if I'm not good enough, and if I don't, I am not good enough, which brings me on the next thought that me doing my best is never enough. Then the things that I were doing this week was I was mindlessly scrolling and over consuming television, which weighed me down a lot this week, right? So I would love to invite you to reflect on the things that may have weighed you down this week, right? That way we can start off today's class with maybe some things that we can shift. So I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to jot some things down, and then I would love for you to share it in the chat if you feel called to do so, or you could also press the raise hand button below the screen if you would like to share with the class. So I will give you about, like I said, 3 minutes for you to jot your thoughts down. Let's see. All right. Well, I hope that gave you some time to jot some things down. Noel says, this week I struggled to say yes to me first at times, which resulting in indulging in too many snacks. I struggle with some negative body talk as I try to figure out what to wear to a baby shower tomorrow. I can relate. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, sometimes I feel like when I'm in that mental space, I tend to overindulge as well. So thank you so much for sharing, Noel. Kim says, traveling this week with my mom and mother-in-law in town made me much less patient and gentle. I feel so guilty for not being more loving and accepting of their limitations. I love that. Thank you for sharing, Kim. Aisha, Isaiah, sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but says someone at work took a very long leave and came back this week. I have always felt off around her. This week I felt triggered, left, right, and centered. I'm interested to figure out what these triggers mean. I love that. I love that. Okay. And lastly, I injured my shoulder a few weeks ago and have been too busy to take care of it. This week, I prioritized my work over my well-being, finally getting it taken care of today, but learning to prioritize my health first. Thank you, Caitlin, for sharing that. I love to hear these because being able to really identify what it is that we kind of didn't feel aligned with at that time is super important, because those feelings, although we feel them as negative, right? Those thoughts, they have so much positivity in them, in the sense that they really do bring some insight into our life, right? And so that's what we're going to get into right now. So with that with those thoughts that were really weighing you down, and those actions or whatever, what is one negative thought? One, the primary one that you have been playing on repeat, right? This week, that is no longer serving you. And how can you challenge that thought? So for example, I'll go ahead and share mine with you. I put, I am not enough was the main primary thought, right? And I put, I guess I can challenge the thought with, what does enough really mean? And then I guess it would mean feeling normal, but again, what is normal, right? I think that the fact that every day I'm aware that I want to show up for myself and do better is enough. I also think that I also think that what I can the best way I know how, doing what I can the best way I know how is enough. Sorry. I just have to remind myself that of more often, right? Enough really just means as required. And I'm the only person who really knows what I require of myself. And so far, I think I am really trying my best to show up for myself in that way. So I would love for you to think about that one negative thought, challenge it. And whatever thoughts tend to come into your mind, whether it's a question negating that thought, whatever it is, let it come out. Let it just literally just get jot down on your journal, because at the end of the day, these are the thoughts that are going to help you, right? These are the challenging thoughts that are going to get stuck in your mind when those thoughts reappear, hopefully not hopefully, but in the next week or so. If they do reappear, those challenging thoughts will also come right behind it, right? So go ahead. I'm going to give you about 4 minutes for this one. So we'll come back around 9:44. And I would love for you, like I said, to jot down that one thought, and then anything that can challenge that thought. So let me go ahead and put some tunes on for you. All right. So Noel says, I'm not worthy of XYZ. Sometimes it's easy to think because something isn't very easy for me, that it means I'm not meant to do or have it. Oh, okay. Many things take time and obstacles to overcome to truly discover them. I can continue trying things and recognize the mini progress that I am seeing, as small bits add up over time. I love that you shared that, Noel. Thank you so much, because I feel like a lot of us can relate to what you wrote. And even just the way that our mind works, right? It's very true. A lot of the times we have more proof, right, of the negative thoughts in our mind. And in time, as we are moving into our journey, we start to prove to ourselves, there's more proof about the positive thoughts, right? That's why affirmations are so powerful, not because it's going to change our thoughts from like, oh, I do feel better, like within 1 second to the next, but it's because you say, I am great, or I am enough, right? And guess what? Because you said it, your brain is now going to be looking for that proof from here moving forward. So I love what you shared, Noel. Thank you so much for sharing. Kim, let me see. Caitlin said, it's not that big of a deal. I tend to tell myself that when I downplay how my physical self might not be 100. Ooh, I compare myself to others and think that it's not that bad, even when that shouldn't matter. My thoughts and feelings are valid and important. I want to evolve how I prioritize my health and well-being. Yes, snaps to that. Totally love that you shared that, Caitlin. I feel like a lot of us can also relate to that. Let me see here. I'll share about one more and then we will move forward, because I do want to get to the rest of today prompts. Let me see. Actually, I'll do two more. I am not a good person. Kim says, I am a good person with complex needs and emotions, and I need to care for her as much as I care for the people around me. Neglecting myself only creates tension for everyone. I deserve the same love and attention that I give to others. Yes, snaps to that. I love that. Wendy says, challenge it by seeing, learning the lesson. Lesson seems to be the opposite meaning. If I'm feeling disgusted, that means I need to learn acceptance. Yes, I love that. So that is literally such a beautiful way for us to shift our mentality, right? But that is the beautiful part of being able to be honest with ourselves, right? Because a lot of the times when we're moving into healing and doing all these wonderful things for ourselves, we sometimes feel negative to think about negative things, but it's not negative, it's acceptance, right? It's accepting that your reality is valid, it's enough, and it's real, you know? So let's see, what I would love for us to move forward with now is reintroducing some positive affirmations, right? Let's see. What are 3 phrases? I want us to move into these affirmations now, right? What are 3 phrases or affirmations that negate the thought slash phrase that you wrote above, right? Or that you wrote even in the first journal prompt, right? From what you went through this week. Let me see. So for example, for myself, I put, I am working on myself, and most importantly, I'm working on accepting myself, and that is enough, right? I try my best in everything I do, and that is enough. Where I am in life, who I am right now, is better than what I could have ever imagined, and that is more than enough. right? So the more and more I started writing these phrases, I started to realize like I do have enough. I am enough, right? But we have to give ourselves that proof. So I would love for you to write, like I said, those 3 phrases/affirmations that will negate either the phrase from the previous journal prompt or the phrase from our first journal prompt of today, okay? So I will give you about 3 minutes to jot them down. Would love for you to share it in the chat. And again, if you feel called to share it with the class, feel free to press the raise hand button below the screen. Let me go ahead and put some tunes on for y'all. Let's see. All right. So Noel says, I am worthy simply because I exist. Amen. I am allowed to grow and change my desires along this journey. Yes. I am safe to uncover and live as the fullest expression of me. Yes. Cindy says, I try. Before I go into the next one, I want to challenge that because you do, Cindy, you don't try, right? There's no trying and picking up the pencil. You either do or you don't. So you do, Cindy. I have small wins daily and sometimes bigger ones. Yes. My life is even better than my child self imagined. Yes, that is so beautiful. I am a beautiful, loving person, says Esther. I am worthy of being loved. I am enough just as I am. I do my best at everything I do. I am capable and smart, and I am a good person, and I'm really good at my job. Caitlin says, I have more than enough time. I float through life. I don't break. I'll sway through it all. Oh, I love that. I am rooted in love and gentleness. I love like the plant verbiage in your affirmations, Caitlin. Aisha says, fear of rejection, feeling rejected, and actually being rejected are two different things. Yes, unless someone tells you it is in your head. Yes, I love that. And lastly, I have more than enough time. Oh, wait, I already said that. But yes, I love these. Look how empowering those affirmations are, right? And it's not even just, they're not false phrases. These are actual phrases that are rooted in truth, that are facts, right? So this is proof to you that those thoughts that, swirl around in your head sometimes throughout the week when you're frustrated or when you're not feeling your best, it's really just a way for your brain to try to understand what it is that you're going through, but those are not truths. These sentences that you wrote, those are truths, right? And we sometimes have to remember to come back to them. Octavia says, it is a blessing for me to share my gifts with the world. I show up fully as myself and I am living in my purpose. The gut feeling I feel is the fire of truth and alignment. Hey, yes, I love that. Wonderful. All right. So moving into, let's see, the last part of today. I did have another journal prompt, but I do want to be respectful of everyone's time. So I am just going to share this last one, which I think is going to end today's class, Chef's Kiss. But before then, Wendy, I'm going to read yours real quick. Wendy says, I want to share off topic. I've been coming to these classes since December 2020 with most of you, and we have all grown and become a better version of ourselves. We are manifesting all our desires and healing all the shadow sides. Now we are embracing our self-love, and it's been a beautiful journey. I love you all. We love you too, Wendy. That was so beautiful. This is such a great way to start the morning. You just have all these butterflies that, you give yourself, but we also give to each other, because this community is really a beautiful community that has helped each other grow just as much as we have helped you grow. I truly feel like you guys have helped me grow a lot as well. So so cute. All right. So moving into the last part of our journey for today, I would love for you to think about what are 3 things that worked out for you this week, right? We already focused on what didn't. We've challenged those thoughts. We've, realized that we are enough. We do have all the time. We are everything and all the good things, right? Now, what went well? Because things also go well, right? So what went well? And really think about and your week so far. What worked out for you, right? Because things do work out for us in the long run. So for myself, I started a new hobby. I have like 30 trillion hobbies, but crocheting, and it has brought me so much joy to find somewhere to put my creative energy. I did ceramics for a while, but it was an expensive hobby and I couldn't bring it to Florida as of yet. So crocheting was my thing. And then what else did I say? I got a great review from one of my clients at work, which was awesome. And I went to the gym at 5 once this week, which felt amazing. So those are my week wins. Would love for you to write your 3 wins as well, or the 3 things that worked out for you this week. Thank you. Loved all those squares you're making. Oh, thanks, Noel. Yeah, I'm trying to make a blanket. It's really hard. But all right, I'm going to give you about 3 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and end today's class. All right. Let's change that. Sorry if you guys hear my dog. But all right, Noelle says consistency with movement this week, 2-step classes, 2 weightlifting sessions, 3 long walks. Yes. Put myself out there and booked a dog sitting client, asked for help with something so I can enjoy a vacation next weekend instead of spreading myself too thin. Yes. Yes. Those are awesome. Amazing. Caitlin says, kicked off my birthday by being showered with love and joy from my community, challenged myself with harder workout classes by the lake, and really unplugged in the evening after work and cooked my favorite meals. Yay! Snaps to that, and happy birthday, Caitlin. Esther says, got together with friends, soaked up their good energy, let myself feel my feelings, and had a good cry. Oh yes, that's amazing. Went walking in nature after the rain. So beautiful and peaceful. I love that. Octavia says, I've been able to build rapport with my students at work and they appreciate my presence in this space. I opened my hand to receive lunch money from a new friend. I cooked some yummy meals that I planned out before the week began with my list magnet that I received for Christmas. Yes, look at that. What a wonderful way to end our class, because so much does work out for us, right? And we are amazing and we are enough and things do work out in our favor. Sometimes we just need a bit of a reminder, right? So I hope that today's class served you well, and I hope that you move into your Friday and weekend with the same energy that we're leaving it with here. So I love you all so much. I'll see you all in the next class, and don't forget to join all the classes next week because they're amazing. Love you all. Bye.